Today we are taking IMAS statistics for Form 3, and under the statistics we are going to take type 1, which is mean and what standard deviation from a single data. So let's try our hands on a couple of questions on this type. Okay, so our first question will be find the mean and standard deviation for the following data. Okay, so number one will be, we have our data to be 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so here we first start with the mean. So let's find the mean for this data. So our mean, which is x bar, is going to give us the sum of the elements. So here the elements are 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So the mean is the sum of the elements divided by the number of elements. So the number of elements, we are going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is going to give us 13 units. So we are done with the first part of the question, which says what? Find the mean. Now let's move on to the standard deviation. The standard deviation. So for the standard deviation, we are going to need a table. So you draw your table nicely with 3 columns. Column 1, column 2, and column 3. So the first column will be for x, then the next column will be for x minus x bar, which is the mean. Then the last one will be x minus x bar all squared. So our s are the elements. So elements, we have 11, we have 12, we have 13, we have 14, the last one is what? 15. Now when you come here, it means x minus x bar. So here we are subtracting the mean from the what? The element. So the element here is 11, and the mean is what? 13. So 11 minus 13 gives us what? Minus 2. Then 12 minus the mean, which is 13, will give us what? Minus 1. Then 13 minus 13 will give us what? 0. Then 14 minus 13 gives us 1. 15 minus 13 gives what? 2. And when you come to the last column, it says x minus x bar squared. So it means what number, or whatever number you get here, you square it to give us what? Here. So here is negative 2. Negative 2 squared will give us what? Positive 4. Negative 1 squared will give us what? Positive 1. Then 0 squared gives 0. 1 squared gives 1. 2 squared gives what? 4. Now we are going to need the summation of these values. So sigma x minus x bar squared. And this is going to give us 4 plus 1, which is 5, plus 1, 6, plus 4, which is what? 10. Now, our standard deviation is going to give us the root of summation x minus x bar squared all over what? N. So here we are going to get root of this, and this is what? 10 divided by n. N means the number of elements, which is 5. So here it means you are going to get root of what? 5 goes here 1, 5 goes here 2. We are going to get root of 2, which is 1.414 in decimals. So that's how to find the mean and the standard deviation for a single data. Okay. So let's take our second question. So our second question is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have to find the mean and standard deviation for this data. Okay. So first of all, we start by calculating for the mean. So the mean is going to give us sum of elements divided by what? Number of elements. Okay, so our sum of elements is going to give us 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 divided by number of elements, which is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to give us 4 units as what? The mean. Now let's move on to calculate for the standard deviation. So for the standard deviation, it means we are going to have our table nicely drawn, 3 columns. The first column will be for x, the next one will be for x minus x bar, then the last one will be for x minus x bar all squared. Okay. So here x are the elements, which are 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So x minus x bar. X stands for the numbers here, and the x bar is the mean we have calculated for, which is 4. So x minus x bar simply means we are subtracting the mean from these numbers. So we are subtracting the mean from these numbers, and the mean is 4. So 2 minus 4 is going to give us minus 2. 3 minus 4 minus 1. 4 minus 4 is 0. 5 minus 4 is 1. And 6 minus 4 is 2. Now for this, please, we square the quantities here to get these values. So here means we are going to square 2. And when we square 2, we are going to get 4. So I square negative 2 to get 4. Square negative 1 to get 1. 0 squared is 0. 1 squared is 1. And 2 squared is 4. Now we shall need the summation of these values. So let's add them. So summation x minus x bar squared is going to give us 4 plus 1, which is 5, plus 1, 6 plus 4, and you get 10. So our standard deviation is going to give us the root of summation x minus x bar squared over n, where n is our number of elements. So summation x minus x bar, we are going to get 10 divided by n, which is the number of number of elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here too, it means we are going to get, here 5 cancels, here 1 goes there 2. We are going to get root 2, which is 1.414 units. Okay. So let's take our example 3. Our example 3. Okay. So for the example 3, we are going to have the numbers to be 4, 6, 9, 10, 13, and 18. Okay, and we have to find the mean and the standard deviation for this data. So first of all, we start by calculating for the mean. So our mean, which is x bar, is going to give us what? The sum of elements divided by what? Number of elements. So we are going to have our sum to be what? 4 plus 6 plus 9 plus 10 plus 13 plus what? 18, all over number of elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our mean is going to give us, so when you add these numbers, you are going to get 60 divided by 6, and this is going to give us what? 10 units. This is because this goes here 1 and goes there 10. Okay, so we finish with the mean. Now let's move on to the standard deviation. Okay, so for the standard deviation, we draw our table nicely. Okay, so 3 columns. The first column is for the x, next one is for the x minus x bar, and x minus x bar all squared. So x stands for the values which are 4, 6, 9, 10, 13, and 18. Okay. And this place is for x minus x bar, meaning we are subtracting the mean from what? The values. So subtracting the mean, which is what? 10. So 4 minus 10 will give us what? Minus 6. 6 minus 10 will give us what? Minus 4. 9 minus 10 will give us what? Minus 1. 10 minus 10 gives 0. 13 minus 10 gives 3. Then 18 minus 10 gives what? 8. Okay. So here it means we simply square these numbers to get what? The values for these rows or these spaces. Okay, so square 6 and you get what? Square negative 6 and you get what? 36. Square negative 4, you get 16. Square negative 1, you get 1. Square 0, you get 0. Square 3, you get 9. Square 8, you get what? 64. As usual, we may need the summation of these values. So we sum them up. And that will give us 426. Now let's move on to the standard deviation. So standard deviation is going to give us what? The root of summation x minus x bar squared all over n. So this is going to give us the root of 426 divided by what? 10. And this is going to give us root of 42.6, which is 6.527 units. Okay.